Alright, these are the top 10 Blue Box moments so far. Spoiler alert, don't say I didn't warn you. Number 1, Chinatsu moving into Taki's house. The first chapter or episode was a really wholesome setup, with Taki a badminton player and Chinatsu his senior who's a basketball player. They're the first ones to the gym every day, and they bond over their love of sports, specifically Chinatsu's goal of reaching the nationals, which inspires Taki. Taki likes her, but his friends Kyo and Hina are like,
"Don't go chasing waterfalls."
But my boy's determined. When Taiki's leaving one morning, he sees Chinatsu in a magazine, and his mom's like, "You know her?" Unbeknownst to Taiki, she used to be on the basketball team with Chinatsu's mother, and they still keep in contact, so she knows work is taking her family overseas, and they're moving in March. After he hears this, Taiki runs to the gym to meet Chinatsu, pleading with her not to give up her dream on going to the nationals. Chinatsu's like, "I'm actually staying here with a family friend," and when Taiki's leaving for morning practice, it turns out his mom's the family friend, so Chinatsu's living with them. Number 2 is the aquarium date. Okay, to trend on Twitter or break the internet, as the kids say, usually you have to go Ultra Instinct or Gear Fist. So when Blue Box achieves this 14 chapters into serialization, just from a staple of romance manga, an aquarium date, it was a big deal. Ask any real manga fan in 2021, this was what put Blue Box on the map. Number 3, Hina confesses to Taiki. So we all know Taiki likes Chinatsu, but the more and more interactions we saw with Hina and Taiki, like the fireworks festival, we all came to the realization that Hina has feelings for him. But usually romance characters aren't quick to admit their feelings. Haven't you seen Kaguya-sama? So when Hina does this in episode 14, it establishes the Taiki, Hina, Chinatsu love triangle that was always hinted but never stated. Number 4, Yusa versus Taiki. Alright, even though this was a practice game, the Golden Goose versus the plucky underdog is always a premier storyline in sports series. So when Taiki, said plucky underdog, goes against Yusa, the best second year at the best badminton school, having lost to him earlier, it's a great way to judge if he's really been putting in that work or if he's just been staring at Chinatsu this whole time. And with everyone watching, even Chinatsu, Taiki pulls out the surprising upset. Number 5, Yumika and Chinatsu make up. As an avid Blue Box fan that's been reading since the beginning, I would never say our wholesome champion was beginning to get a little tropey, but our wholesome champion was beginning to get a little tropey. What not only brought me back but glued me to my seat was the Yumika storyline. We learned when Chinatsu first began playing basketball, she met and became best friends with a prodigy named Yumika. However, when trouble in Yumika's home life arises, it causes her to isolate away from Chinatsu, and ultimately she not only goes to a different high school than Chinatsu like Kuroko no Basket, but she quits basketball, something Chinatsu never got over. So when Taiki runs into her and looking back kind of inserts himself in the situation, Yumika admits she wasn't strong enough to share her burden with Chinatsu because she always looked up to her and didn't want to show weakness. Ultimately, Taiki convinces her to go to Chinatsu's game. Yumika attends and cheers Chinatsu to victory. After the game, they make up and she decides to take up basketball again. Number 6, the one where Taiki confesses to Chinatsu, no friends reference intended. After 100 chapters of careful build-up, when Chinatsu hugs Taiki on Christmas Eve, he's like, screw it, it's now or never. But she's left with her family for the holidays. During their time apart, they both realize what the other means to them. And it just so happens that Taiki's ski trip with the boys is in the same area as Chinatsu's family. They meet up and Taiki confesses on a frozen lake, and Chinatsu says yes. Number 7, when Ayame dubs Kyo. This one hurt me personally because I think they're the best ship in Blue Box. I think Kyo and Ayame are hilarious. Their opposites dynamic is just everything to me. So when Chinatsu is over to make Valentine's chocolates, for the first time Ayame starts thinking beyond her superficial relationships and begins to process maybe wanting something more with Kyo, much to her hilarious chagrin. But when she misinterprets Kyo's interaction with Hina, she decides not to follow through and gives the chocolates to the NPC Matsuoka, with Kyo watching from the sideline. And I would love to say things are better in the recent chapters, but they're totally not. It's actually worse. I still think they're endgame though, trust the process. Number 8, Haru versus Taiki for a chance to go to the nationals. Now remember, Taiki is a second year, but Haru is in his third and final year. He's not getting another chance. Other than Kyo, Taiki's probably closest to Haru. That's his boy, his big bro that's helped him become a better player. It's apprentice versus master, Jackie Chun versus Goku. They even have Karen and Chinatsu awkwardly sitting next to each other and both know who the other is rooting for. It's arguably the most intense game in Blue Box, with both trying their absolute best to one-up the other. But after 3 sets, Taiki pulls out the upset over his senior, ending Haru's badminton career. Number 9, Yumika vs Chinatsu Part 1 and 2. Yes, I couldn't choose one, so I picked both. Sue me. For the first time, Yumika and Chinatsu will play basketball together again, but this time on opposite sides, for the opportunity to go to the nationals. They're going back and forth with both Saisho and Ayame playing through their stars. Yumika hasn't lost a beat since her return, but Chinatsu isn't giving up until she makes an awkward landing after a shot. She tries to play through this, but has to be taken out of the game. Without Chinatsu, Yumika and Saisho eliminate Ayame from the tournament. Yumika feels terrible that she won this way, but the real pain comes from Chinatsu. However, in their second game, much like Luke in Return of the Jedi, Chinatsu has every answer for Yumika and Saisho, and it looks like Yumika's time off basketball has finally caught up to her, resulting in Chinatsu and Ayame picking up the dub, completing their story arc. At number 10, Taki gets Chinatsu's father's approval. When Chinatsu's dad returns on business and learns from Chinatsu that she's going out with Taki, like a responsible adult, he's like, yeah, you two shouldn't be living in the same house. You're staying with me. So Taki one-ups him and he moves in with him. What? The banter between these two maybe rivals any duo in the entire series. They're absolutely hysterical. When he's running late for Chinatsu's game, Taki finds him and they both run the remainder of the way. They cheer Chinatsu on to victory. After the game, he decides Chinatsu will stay with the Inamadas until the Winter Cup is over. And when they see her dad off, Taki even becomes parent approved. Like and subscribe. Bye.